Hi, I'm Fight, and today I want to talk about the third week of the 12th block with my coach. And of course, going over a whole week all at once is a little bit hard, just because a lot of stuff happens in 5 training days. But I think the general theme was that this week was solid. Um, I didn't have any like big breakthroughs or PRs or whatever, but that doesn't matter. Usually that doesn't matter. I think I increased my weight on all of the work sets, on none of the top sets, but that was also not prescribed. We are just increasing kind of the intensity of the work sets and seeing where that gets me. So I think that that's really going super well. I was able to put on weight everywhere. I was able to hit it with clarity and with focus. And yeah, I feel pretty good about this week in general. Now, if we look at the individual days, I think what's interesting on the first day is that I don't get to something that's easily measurable until I'm halfway done with the workout because there's so much technique work and so much calisthenic stuff that's kind of hard to gauge progress on. It's not demotivating. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the handstand push-ups. I enjoy the front lever holds and that sort of thing. But it's really no comparison to, say, the pull-ups here, where I just put on 2.5 kilos in every set. You know, there I can say, well, I did 3 sets with 10 reps with 2.5 kilos more than last week, which is a considerable amount of work. And that's also because the RPE band that I was supposed to hit dropped, or rather increased, depending on how you look at it. And so I was able to push myself more. Same on the bench press. I did 2 sets with 65 and 1 set with 61. And I think last week it was 61, 60, 65, 61, and 60. So I added another set of 65 and I pushed the 60 out completely. So that's progress, right? So I enjoy these days as soon as I get there. Before I enjoy them for the sake of the workout, and then once I hit the measurable part of the workout, I'm actually more gauging whether I made progress or not. And that sounds weird because ideally I would be able to gauge that on both, but I'm not super at that. And that's maybe why I'm not a great calisthenics skills person. Just because it's hard for me to do the same thing for a lot of weeks and not notice any improvement or much of an improvement, and just trusting the process anyway. So, weighted movements actually are much more my jam. I wasn't super happy with squats that day. This is now day 2. 130 is 5 kilos less than last week. I did 135, but it was a little high, so I didn't use that to gauge my back offs and to gauge my performance of the day. Just because I don't feel like that's being honest and true to myself. If it's not there on the day, it's just not there. And what's 5 kilos among friends, right? So I did 107 for 6 on my volume sets, and then I went over to stiff leg deadlifts where I did 135, 140, and 140 again. So I've shaved off 5 kilos there too. And I think that's more of an indicator that I just wasn't super there that day because all of the other workouts I was able to add weight. But maybe it's also something to keep in mind, right? Maybe I should just take it a little slow. Um, and also, I mean, it was the third week of the block. I'll do probably one more week and then call it call it quits with this block. So I think that's also got something to do with it. Now this I'm happy with. It's kind of a straddle front lever, right? It's not perfect, but I just did it to check on how this is going because I'm always going submaximal on front levers. I did some cross holds just to see where I was at with that. Not super exciting because it's not deep, it's like a 45-degree thing, but that's okay. Handstand push-up negatives, like the hold in the shoulder stand feels like nothing now, which is nice. Um, I can hold this for, I think there, I hold it for like 8 seconds or something. So handstand push-up should be in the bag pretty soon as well. Now, um, with the high pulls, I see some rotation, so that's not great. And with the with the chin-ups, that was super. I mean, I did 22 and a half for 3 sets of 5 on the back-offs, and I think that's a PR, at least a volume PR. I'm kind of proud of that because that's 40% added load for fives over multiple sets, which I'm happy with. Dips aren't going super. 50 feels heavy and it shouldn't. I've done 50 before. I've done 60 before, I think. So I haven't been in touch with the movement for a long time as a primary movement, so I have to get back into it, and I understand that. But I just hope that this is going to clear over the next couple of blocks because I'm more hoping for something like 80 kilograms to be my max, and as it currently stands, that is not in the cards at all. And I tell you, you should do dumbbell overhead presses because it is freaking hard. I mean, I did 20 kilos and then 17 and a half kilos for eights, and that is not usually a weight that would be challenging for me on the overhead press, but it sure was on the dumbbells. The last day of the week that was weighted, lower body day here, I did in Berlin because my wife had a thing on the weekend, and I was watching the little one and then went to the gym. And I was actually kind of happy with. So this is a strapless set, which is cool. I've never done strapless for a set of 6. Then for the other two volume sets, I did wear straps. But I'm kind of proud that I was able to pull that off. So that's neat. I think I finally figured out hook grip, which is cool. The new gym, anyway, was pretty weird. It was big and spacious and nice, but were a lot of bros that were just watching everyone and themselves, and it just made me feel very uncomfortable because it was a very starey gym. Like everyone was just checking out everyone else instead of getting the work in. And I don't mind being watched so much, but it's just not something that is conducive to a focused workout, I find. And it's also not why I'm in the gym. Like, I don't need to find friends in the gym. It's cool if I meet nice people, but I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to find a partner or anything. Like, I'm married, I'm happy. Just leave me alone and let me do my workout. That said, if someone asks me whether I can spot them or something like that, of course I'm going to do that. I'm not a misanthrope or anything like that. I'm just not a social person generally, and especially not in the gym. Anyway, that should be the last video, my last set. Oh no, there's handstands after that. And yeah, I think that was my week. It was pretty solid overall. I'm pretty happy. I'm hoping that next week we can roll some PRs. If not, totally fine. I'm just gonna keep increasing the weights, and it's not gonna feel like PRs, but it really is going to be. Here on the handstands, just to have a word on that in the end. Handstands were okay. The line wasn't super, but the holds were very long, so I can't be too mad with that. I think I did like 25 seconds both videos, and I think I did like 25 seconds for everything. So that was kind of cool. Wasn't super, but who cares? I like the line. Who cares? You can't always have that, especially after a deadlift day, right? Anyway, that's all I have. Have a good one. See you around.